Hello, my name is Kelvin Takar, and I'm the VP of Sales at Edisoft. And with me today is Tim Baumgartner from Accellos. Tim, I'd like to thank you for being here at this event and would like to welcome you today. And Tim, I've just unmuted you so you can greet the audience.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tim Baumgartner from Accellos. We're excited you're able to join us today and look forward to the session.
It's with great pleasure that we welcome all of you to our webinar titled Learn How to Optimize Your Warehouse Using Edisoft and Accellos' Integrated Solution. And our special guest today is Tom Bagby, the VP of Operations at Budge Industries. Before we begin today's session, I would like to address some minor housekeeping issues. Firstly, I would ask all participants to keep their audio on mute for the duration of the call. In the last 5 minutes, we will be prepared to take questions, and at the time, I would ask you to send them via the chat screen available on GoToMeeting. We will do our best to answer questions in the remaining 5 minutes of this webinar. In advance of hearing directly from Tom at Budge Industries, I will take about 5 to 10 minutes to describe Edisoft's integrated EDI products and services, as well as highlight specific features and benefits delivered by the combined Edisoft and Accellos integrated platform for Sage ACPAC ERP. In addition, Tim from Accellos will be describing the products and services currently available from Accellos to ensure all of us have a clear understanding of the key capabilities of the Accellos WMS platform. First of all, Edisoft has been the #1 choice for innovative and integrated EDI solutions within the Sage community since 1995, based on the quality of products and services. We deliver the following EDI and warehouse optimization products and services. Currently, Edisoft offers a value-added network service called Business Exchange. In addition, the merchant solution that we provide for Sage ACPAC ERP includes a communications module, EDI translator, and integration via the OE module with Sage ACPAC ERP. All of these modules that come out pre-configured out of the box. In addition, there are merchant add-on modules which include plug-and-play capabilities to support remote warehouse modules for 3PLs that would support such documents as a 940, 945, and also the plug-in outbound purchase order module, which is used to exchange documents between a customer and their supplier community. Additional software products from Edisoft include Visual ASN module, which delivers automated ASN 856 creation, printing of GS1 labels, as well as support for drop shipment packing slips, and includes pick, pack, and ship functions that can be configured and optimized to a company's specific ERP, EDI, order management, and order fulfillment process. Visual ASN also supports add-on modules, including a turnkey configurable adapter for Accellos WMS 6.2 and 6.3, as well as configurable software connectors for carrier management solutions such as Starship and Linkship. We also provide a library of over 1,700 trading partner kits and GS1 labels for trading partners such as Target, Walmart, Amazon.com, Sears and JCPenney, etc. Now that I've provided an overview of the component software modules that make up Edisoft's integrated EDI solution, I will describe specific features and benefits of the combined Edisoft and Accellos platform. Specific features of the Edisoft integrated platform include optimization to support current versions of Sage ACPAC ERP, versions 5.5 to version 6.0, communications, translation, and integration via the order entry module in ACPAC, as well as the adapter for WMS, which is completely configurable out of the box. A communication module that supports a wide range of network connectivity options, such as FTP, AS2, and most proprietary WAN communication scripts. Visual ASN combined with the Visual ASN Adaptor for Accellos delivers automated ASN creation, while printing of GS1 shipping compliant labels and drop shipment packing slips are performed by the Accellos WMS application. There are over 1,700 trading partner kits and labels for a variety of different trading partners as listed, as well as many more. There's turnkey support for Business Exchange, which is available through the Business Exchange portal as part of the integrated solution. And the Accellos application supports integration with a variety of TMS, transport management solutions, and carrier management solutions. Now, some of the benefits of the joint integrated platform between Edisoft and Accellos are identified on the screen. One is lower transaction cost, reduced upgrade costs as a result of out-of-the-box integration by the Sage ACPAC ERP API for both the Edisoft and Accellos applications. Elimination of rekeying of ERP order data throughout the order management and order fulfillment process, as well as order shipment process. There's absolutely no rekeying of order data throughout the order entry, as well as stages of picking, packing, and shipment of the order. Additional benefits include saving time and improving retail scorecards by speeding up packing, generation of ASNs, and printing of GS1 shipping compliant labels, while also ensuring complete accuracy of shipments and EDI compliancy each and every time. Whether cross-dock shipments, orders, or drop shipments, direct-to-store, it doesn't matter the category. Elimination of redundant business processes and minimizing duplicate activities. For example, with the combined solutions, there is one workflow for EDI orders and one for non-EDI orders. Currently, organizations, as in the case of Budge, would have had two different workflow processes. So that's one of the benefits of having the integrated platform. In addition, ERP order management and order fulfillment workflow optimization results in cost savings across multiple departments. Realignment in the workflows results in savings for accounting, customer service, shipping, and sales. Furthermore, there is freedom of choice to reduce or eliminate WAN fees where permitted by the trading partner as a result of the integrated solution. Examples of trading partners that permit the elimination of WAN fees: Walmart, Home Depot, Target, Amazon.com. Ultimately, the overall benefit is the ability to have fewer staff to manage and maintain both EDI and warehouse systems. Now, in advance of hearing from Tim Baumgartner from Accellos, I'm going to put up a typical solution architecture diagram for clients that would be using the integrated solution from Edisoft and Accellos. As you can see on the upper section of this diagram, we have identified some well-known trading partners: Costco.com, Sports Authority, Staples. I should point out that these trading partners have been selected at random and may or may not represent trading partners in use by Budge Industries. In the case of this diagram, the trading partners have the ability to send and receive EDI documents via the internet using their own WAN services. And a Sage customer such as Budge Industries would use a WAN service such as Edisoft's Business Exchange to receive or transmit EDI documents with the trading partner. Merchant, as I previously mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, performs three critical functions. It supports communication, translation, and integration of Sage ACPAC ERP. Once a purchase order has arrived at a Sage ACPAC customer site, such as Budge Industries, it will be downloaded using Merchant, where the incoming purchase order is translated from ANSI X.12 to a data format that can be automatically posted to the Sage ACPAC ERP database via the order entry module, thereby eliminating any rekeying of data while also ensuring complete accuracy and EDI compliancy for a Sage ACPAC customer. Once the order is in Sage ACPAC, the Sage ACPAC ERP database, the order detail can be retrieved by the Accellos application as a result of the fact that WMS is seamlessly integrated with Sage ACPAC ERP as well. Subsequently, the Accellos application can then automate the picking, packing, and shipment of goods for both EDI and non-EDI orders posted to Sage ACPAC from a number of different sources. Other sources would include a web store, such as Icinity, mobile devices, Sage CRM, as well as the actual manual rekeying of order data directly to the Sage ACPAC order entry module. It is important to point out that Edisoft and Accellos co-developed a software adapter for Visual ASN that plugs into both the Visual ASN and Accellos WMS application architecture. As a result of this joint effort, Sage customers can have the confidence that both Edisoft and Accellos technical teams will address their needs together and ensure the customer benefits from the expertise and leadership of two of the most innovative companies in the Sage community. The function of this configurable adapter that is an add-on to Visual ASN is to exchange data between the Edisoft and Accellos application, ensuring information related to EDI compliancy and relevant to customer orders is posted accurately for all shipments, completely automating this process in a standardized manner while delivering specific key benefits. One, elimination of rekeying of order data throughout the order fulfillment process for all Sage ACPAC ERP customers. Elimination of workflow and staff redundancies as a result of a singular pick, pack, and ship order fulfillment process. Furthermore, there's complete peace of mind for your IT team as Edisoft and Accellos virtually eliminate the expensive upgrade costs associated with customized EDI WMS environments. Lastly, the Visual ASN adapter is completely scalable and will operate with any size orders and any number of trading partners, enabling your company to expand and grow while minimizing staff costs and lowering transaction costs at the same time. I would like to point out that by introducing the Visual ASN adapter into an existing Edisoft WMS environment, a Sage ACPAC customer will now be able to print GS1 shipping compliant labels from a variety of print applications available from Accellos. At this stage, I'm going to ask Tim to speak about the Accellos platform.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Calvin. And first of all, thanks everybody for joining us today. We appreciate the time and the opportunity to tell you a little bit about ourselves and how our solutions together have helped some of our customers. I'd also like to take a moment to thank Kelvin and Steve and the rest of the Edisoft team for putting this webinar together. They've done a great job, and it's greatly appreciated by all of us. What I'm going to do briefly here, Kelvin, share a little bit about Accellos and who we are, and in particular focus on one of our offerings, the WMS, and how we've worked with Edisoft to provide a valuable and profitable solution for our customers. On the slide you see now is just a little bit of background information about Accellos. We were founded in 2000, and one of the first actions of Accellos was to acquire a company called Radio Beacon, which was a WMS provider that had been around since '92. And of particular importance here today is the fact that it had provided the former AWMS solution to Sage that was offered with the ACPAC ERP package. As you can see, we've managed to enjoy some success and build a fairly large customer base. We are headquartered in Colorado Springs, Colorado, with our largest office in the Toronto area, where most of the development and much of our support services take place. We have other offices around the United States, as well as in Australia and Europe as well. Next slide, please, Kelvin. Thank you. The vision behind the founding of Accellos was the market space for supply chain solutions, and when I say that, what I mean is a warehouse management system, carrier management system, as Kelvin mentioned before, transportation management system to manage our own fleet of trucks. All those types of offerings were a very fragmented market. So in other words, yourselves as an end user would have to go talk to Radio Beacon for WMS, and you would talk to Starship for shipping solution, and so on and so forth. So the Accellos vision was to offer a suite of these applications on one technical platform, accessible through one user interface. And that's what we've been striving for and getting to today. Next slide, please. Thank you. Today we have reached 12 solutions, or 12 distinct offerings we have. I am not going to talk about most of these at all. I'll touch briefly on a couple, and then we'll drill down more on the warehouse, since that's the focus for today. We do have an integrated carrier management solution, as Kevin had mentioned, to help with your shipping and labeling compliance. We do integrate with the shipping offerings from UPS and FedEx and whatnot. We can provide rate shopping, both for parcel management as well as LTL or truckloads. We have an inherent BI piece within the WMS that I will delve in a little bit deeper, as well as Adaptor scheduling piece. We have a tracking piece that will allow you to track the shipments on your truck and share that data with your customers if you'd like. We have an event alert piece that will be driven by events or non-events within the system, and provide alerts either via email, text, or whatever medium you would prefer. Next slide, please. I'm sorry, Kelly, there we go, thank you. So this will give you an overview of the WMS offering. Again, this has been around since '92. We've been integrated with the Sage XRP since 2000. Oops, we can go back one, please. Sorry, if we could go back, that would be helpful. Thank you.
No.
Well, we're doing that. The WMS was, as always, and remains targeted at small and medium businesses, with the inherent implications that come with that. And that, when we say that, we would need a solution that has a rapid implementation, a solution that allows you to achieve an ROI in a rapid fashion, typically as little as 6 months, certainly within 18 months to a year. We know that it has to be affordable and integrate seamlessly with your ERP package. And as I've mentioned, we've had that with AgTech for quite some time. The question is, and I'm going to cover a lot of ground here, guys, very fast. So as Calvin said, we have some time for some questions. We also will be more than happy to have a conversation in the future if you'd like to drill down deeply. I would want to emphasize how we can help you achieve the benefits, as Calvin had done such a good job. And really, Calvin, is there any way we can go back one by any chance?
Hey,
we'll do that within every app.
Tim, this is Calvin. I have to apologize. I'm having some problems trying to get the slides reordered here.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. It's okay. If you think about it, where we're really going to have an impact, with one exception that I'll talk about, is within those 4 walls of the warehouse, and every operation within the warehouse, whether inbound, outbound, the placement and tracking of inventory within those 4 walls, including the dock doors. For example, some of the challenges you may face. I'm sure everybody realizes that an effective and accurate warehouse starts at the receiving dock. And when accurately capturing and the inventory on the inbound, first of all, just verifying that you've got the correct items from your vendors. And some of the issues that you may be faced with are when vendors mix items between purchase orders in a single shipment or pallet. Or another good example would be an inbound shipment of containers or pallets and small parcels all mixed together. You may have seen high volume goods sitting on the dock waiting for official receipt. And one constant, if you're operating in a manual environment, is that lag time between the actual capture of the receipt in the ERP system as opposed to when it was physically received and put away. And often cases we've seen where the goods are in fact shipped out before the actual receipt is captured, for example, to fulfill a back order. Some of the benefits we would hope to drive on the inbound side of things, of course, would be increasing the accuracy of the receipts while improving the speed and the efficiency, and much in the same vein as what Kelvin had mentioned, eliminating those manual steps, eliminating that paper trail and the data entry that is inherent with that paper trail. So on the outbound side, of course, there's a little bit of different issues, but a common theme to the inbound is accuracy. Yeah, obviously, your customer satisfaction really begins with accurate picking and packing and getting the orders out. Also is customer compliance. You know, obviously a theme for today's session is companies that work with and face the challenges presented by quote-unquote big box retailers, Target, Home Depot, Walmart, so on and so forth. And if you're working with them, you're well aware that they have very stringent and often unusual compliance requirements, ranging from everything to the labeling that is required and the structure of the labels, the type of labels, the size of the labels. I know another great example is Walmart has unique pallet sizes because to take advantage of their DCs, and they're unique to typically most of your other vendors as well. Another, obvious customer compliance is timely shipment. And I know Amazon's a great example of folks where too early is just as bad as too late, and you have that small delivery window. So one of the benefits of using both of our systems is that we'll enable you to have the information in a timely and efficient fashion and then act upon it as well. And again, we would hope to increase, obviously the accuracy and the speed that you get your items out the door. The productivity of your picking team and your packing team should increase dramatically. The greatest amount of effort on the picking side of things is usually travel, just simply traveling from spot to spot. And a core feature of the WMS is designing and allocating the orders out to the pick team in the most logical and efficient fashion, including the most efficient pick path.
That's great, Tim. I mean, at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just move us forward to the next slide.
Sure.
And identify the 5 key reasons that Budge Industries invested in the integrated platform. One was addressing new EDI ASN requirements, retention of same staff levels and lowering costs per transactions, ease of use and simplifying the overall operations in the warehouse. Training and support were other very important considerations for them in making the investment. And at this stage, I'd like to welcome Tom Bagby from Budge Industries. Tom's been kind enough to join us today and is prepared to share with us the experiences that Budge has had in using the integrated platform. Before we begin today, Tom, would you be kind enough to give us a little bit of background on yourself, on Budge as a company, and certainly welcome you to the webinar.
Sure. My name is Tom Bagby. I also have my IT director, Carl Davies, who is probably knows more about this than I do. Budge Industries is a manufacturer of protective coverings. We sell to the major retailers, mass merchant, auto suppliers. We also have a e-commerce presence as well. Our company, I've been with the company for 20 years. The company is the original car cover manufacturer since 1946. But the reason why we engaged in this type of technology and partner with Accellos is the different and diversity that our company is experiencing as we're trying to branch out to different type of segments in the marketplace. So it just made sense to bring in a system that could help us do those things without adding people resources, something that we can grow with.
Now, Tom, I appreciate that insight for the audience. Can you share with the group today which Edisoft Accellos products you're currently using?
I'll let Carl handle that one.
Hi, this is Carl Davies. The Accellos products that we're using is the, I guess, I forget what version, 5.3, I believe it is. The warehouse module. And we're using the Edisoft products Merchant, Visual ASN, and the Edisoft connector. And we were an Edisoft customer before deploying the Accellos product. So it was nice to see that we could stay aligned with Edisoft when we deployed the Accellos component.
Well, Carl, maybe at this point, given you've responded to the last question, this one would be well suited for yourself as well. How have your experiences been with the Edisoft EDI solution over the years?
It's been a great product. It's been stable and flexible. There hasn't been a trading partner requirement that we haven't been able to fulfill using the Edisoft product. And even if there was a challenge, we found a way to make it happen. Yep.
Well,
very
that's great. And maybe from the perspective, it's great that both you and Tom are going to be able to respond to some of these questions jointly, because the next question is really something that's shared between both of you. If you and Tom can maybe share with the audience as to the challenges that you might have been experiencing with the separate workflows, and what you were looking at in terms of a complete integrated solution. I know we touched on this the other day. Just giving us a perspective on why you felt it was important to have an integrated solution.
Well, if we didn't have an integrated solution, it would have virtually doubled the amount of effort to get our ASN compliant orders out the door. And in this day and age, there's double work at any level. It's just not you just can't have that. So we absolutely had to find a way to single stream that. So that was critical.
Now, I know that there was some, I guess, information you shared earlier about having to pack a shipment twice, if you were looking at using the system separately. Could you maybe provide the audience some insight in terms of what's involved in that?
Well, if we didn't have the connector, for example, we would have to go through the WMS process of physically packing it and letting the Accellos component do its thing. And then if we didn't have the connector, we would have to redo that whole process, if not manually, at least electronically, through a data entry function in order to fulfill that trading partner requirement. So that's what I mean by single streaming.
Okay, that's fabulous. And from your perspective, when you were initially looking at an integrated solution, can you share with the audience what were some of the important considerations, like what were some key criteria that you had that had to be met?
Well, we had to have a trading partner. We had to have someone who was willing to work with us and who had who had the ability to stay engaged with where we wanted to go and what tools we had at our disposal. In this case, the Accellos component. That was critical when we looked at that.
Now, probably one of the essential things I think the audience would be interested in knowing, because there's a lot of perceived complexity when you get involved in looking at how to integrate EDI and then ultimately automating a warehouse. Can you comment on some of those experiences that you had as you went through that process? I mean, one primarily might be even how the process unfolded for you from your perspective, moving from Visual ASN to the integrated adapter.
Well, one of the as far as the process is concerned, one of the things that we did is we understood where we wanted to end up, and the solution that we wanted to end up was to have as automated as possible a process that could go through from the time we got an order, from the time we invoiced the order, that there was less amount of people touching it. So that was what we were ultimately trying to achieve. So from order entry, from picking, from packing, from shipping, to invoicing and sending ASNs, we wanted that to be as automated as possible. So as we look through systems and processes, that was always in the back of our mind. So it came very clear to us that to do things more than once or to double our efforts was not the goal that we wanted to do.
And one of the things that we realized is that Accellos is a powerful product and has a lot of flexibility, but we had to understand the impact of the differences in how we chose to process orders, because that ultimately affected our ability to generate ASNs. So it's very specific, it's very targeted, and that was something new to us as we deployed that. The connector helped us identify, deploying the connector helped us identify that and got us on track.
Now, are there any aspects of this transition that the company went through that you or Tom felt could be handled better?
Well, one of the things of experience, unless you've gone through it the first time, there's always something you can think of, but after you're done, you're just not sure if you can possibly anticipate it. I guess a better understanding of how those workflows would have impacted data movement downstream, but you wouldn't even think about asking something like that because all that stuff happened in the background before.
Is it fair to say, I know that we had a conversation one day that you were talking a little bit about the fact that, somewhat what's being handled on the EDI side of the business and what's being handled on the warehouse, really there isn't a perceived overlap many times. And until you actually start looking at what each other's doing and understanding that, there's not really the true understanding of what that process is when it's integrated. And I know that you sort of went through that education process as a result of bringing in the adapter. Can you comment, I guess, in ways that's helped Budge?
Well, it's helped in that we have a better understanding about the technology that we're using. That's one of the things that I think every person on this call can probably appreciate. You get to know your accounting system, you get to know your warehouse management system. Every software tool that you use, you get to know better over time. And there are some things that you find that as you learn, you like a lot, and some things you wish were better. And so far, it's just sometimes forcing us to work differently. So it's new, it's not necessarily bad, but it's just different. So you have to adapt to that. As I said, Accellos is a pretty powerful tool, and we've probably had to change some of the thought processes in how we process orders, and so far it's all been an overall upside.
And can you elaborate for the audience on how the Visual ASN Adapter has helped Budge Industries to date? I mean, what are some of the key benefits that you've seen and Tom have seen?
Well, the adapter from the technical side is, now that it's been deployed, I don't have to worry about it too much anymore. Largely the ASN generation is a function of shipping. So that's great to have that peace of mind. I'm not sure.
So on the operational side, we really, the value on the operations side as far as the pick pack, the adapter was not a big influence in that area, other than Accellos had captured all the information where the adapter can just go in and pull the information. So there was, and again, our goal was to have as much automation as possible. So we were able to automate that piece to go out to our training partners as far as the GTN information, the labels, the ASNs, all of that stuff now happens automatic. It's automated.
Right. Okay. No, that's good. And what would you say to Edisoft clients considering the purchase or upgrade to Visual ASN and the Visual ASN Adapter?
I wouldn't have any reservations because this combination has provided us with all the functionality we've needed to keep our trading partners satisfied. I mean, you can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, I mean, that, and again, ultimately, that was the goal of how do we supply our trading partners with what they want without affecting our operations. And that's what this has been able to do for us.
Now I know it's always hard to kind of quantify what the ROI is and bringing in new technologies and making changes to the workflow. But one of the things I'm hoping you may be able to elaborate on a little bit for the audience is, give them some visibility in terms of how you're going through the process of measuring the return on this investment, and how it may compare to the traditional way that you were doing your picking, packing, and shipping before you brought the adapter in.
Well, I think because the processes have changed so much, it's really hard to identify an ROI. This was, even if this was an expense that isn't going to have a payback, it was one that we would have to have incurred anyhow. So the improvement is operational. It's probably going to be only realized over time, over an evaluation of, let's say, months, years, whatever. And because there's so many small work efforts involved in all of these processes, and we've never really, I don't think we've ever done a time management study of saying this many minutes a day are transferred to this many orders. It's really hard to say.
On a large scale, though, is the big payback is just going to be people, and that we're seeing a plus already in that aspect.
And is it possible at all, I know this will be harder for you, Tom, but it might be reasonable to ask of Carl. Can you estimate approximately how much money you've been able to save on the EDI side compared to your old solution in terms of compliance, chargebacks, and so forth?
Well, I don't. We were an Edisoft customer before the Accellos product, so we didn't have any compliance charges before then anyhow. So.
Okay, it was just one of the questions we had talked about in terms of saving extra daily man hours to generate the ASN if you didn't have the connector.
Oh, if we didn't have the connector.
That's right.
Well, since we haven't really experienced that.
Well, we did for a short period of time.
We did do for a short period of time.
Yeah. For a short period of time without the connector, it was hours and hours of technical resources time taking care of that. So I'd say that was probably maybe a quarter of a man a week.
Okay, and that's useful for others to be aware of that. There's implications in terms of cost structure if the adapter isn't part of the solution. Now, probably at this juncture, what I'm going to do is I've got one final question here for both of you, and then I will turn it over to Tim if Tim's got any questions. I'll unmute Tim as well. What will you tell other customers if they call to ask you about your experiences with the integrated Edisoft Accellos solution?
It's been pretty stable. It's been a good product. I like it. It works in the background. I typically don't have to worry about it, which is what every technology guy wants to hear.
I mean, on an operational end, when you go from pretty manually doing things to going to barcodes, scanners, all of that type of technology, you see the workflow of your facility increase tremendously. And then as far as the data information transferring without any intervention in people, you see that advantage happening very quickly. The visibility that I have with both systems is a major plus where I can be able to make decisions as a manager quickly, efficiently, accurately, so for us, it was just a huge jump from where we were. So, and because of that jump, it's taken us it's been about 6 months now. So, we're just starting to feel comfortable with the system where we're not just running after and learning it. Now we're starting to use it to its fullest potential. because of that, we're now we're just starting to gain in that area. So we're still young with it, we're still learning it, but the upside is still a tremendous lead, and we even after 6 months, this is the direction that we wanted to be at, and we're seeing that we're successfully getting to where we want to be ultimately.
That's terrific. So what I'm going to do at this point, Tom and Carl, I'm just going to unmute Tim. Tim, do you have any specific questions you might want to ask Carl and Tom?
No, I don't, Kelly. I appreciate the opportunity, but I think they've touched upon a lot of the areas I would hope they would discuss. So, no, thank you, though. Okay,
that's terrific. So what I'm going to suggest at this time is I'm going to pause here and provide the attendees an opportunity to pose questions via the chat screen. And then what I will do is present those questions to Tom and Carl, and we'll look forward to their responses today. There's actually a question that's already come up on my chat screen, and either Carl or Tom, you can certainly respond to this question. What are the immediate benefits garnered by Budge Industries once the connector was implemented in the warehouse?
It was a seamless flow of data, so that there wasn't any manual intervention to generate the ASN. And once configured, the ASNs were accurate. That was tremendous. I mean, it all happens in the background. It's automatic. It's automated.
That's great. And what we'll do is we'll give it a minute or two to see if there's some more questions that are posed by the attendees. Thanks, Carl. That's great. Actually, Carl, I just thought of a question myself that might be very valuable for the audience. Could you share with them which version of ACPAC you're on, as well as what version of Accellos you're using today?
The Accellos is 6.3, and we're on ACPAC 5.6.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, here's another question. How was the implementation process from the onset of the project to completion is one question. And can you elaborate on any issues that you may have uncovered in preparation for the implementation?
Well, I think Tom can speak to this, but the preparation for the implementation from an operations standpoint was a bit of an eye-opener because it forces you to do things a little differently.
And I mean, ultimately, it's just because you're looking at every aspect of your operation, to leave things out or take things for granted definitely was the biggest challenge for us. And no matter how much you prepare, the go-live date is going to be very hectic. But you just got to hang in there because, you know, ultimately, once you learn the system more and more, it's easier to be able to process things. But to really, really, really pay attention to your processes and make them really clear to the implementers, that's where you're going to gain the most success in the process.
You know, actually, Tom, that's very interesting because maybe that's an opportunity to sort of help participants understand. I mean, there's no doubt it's challenging in terms of going through this kind of experience. How did you find support from Edisoft and Accellos while you were going through that?
Well, I can speak from the technical side, and the support was great. I mean, Edisoft stayed engaged with the Accellos people every step of the way to make sure that they got everything they needed when they needed it. and the Accellos people responded to every Edisoft request. And I was kind of in the middle of all of this, just helping to maintain an awareness of the technology impact on our operations. And it was very educational, and everyone was real supportive.
The other key thing that you really need to do is to have one lead person. That was one of the key things that helped me. Other than myself, I had a lead person who pretty much dedicated their time to implementing all of the processes and working with the Accellos, working with Carl, and working with the people in the warehouse to make sure they were one go-to person. And they pretty much dedicated, I had someone dedicate their time just for that. So that helped tremendously in communicating and having somebody available at all times. That definitely was a plus.
That's great. Now, there is another question here, and this might be more directed to you, Carl. Is label printing all done under WMS? Maybe you could take a moment to explain that process for the participants on how labels are actually currently created.
The answer is yes, and it sounds like this person has an idea of how these things work. And it's a very label-driven process, but all of our compliant labels are generated from Accellos.
Can you comment what you're using for that purpose? Are you aware, because Accellos offers a variety of different applications?
I'm not sure what print application we are using.
One of the key things that we were able to do was work with our training partners and to get a standard label approved that worked. So that's another key thing, is don't be afraid to go back to your training partner, say, this is what I can produce, is this okay? Because we kind of got surprised by some of our training partners that we didn't think was going to be good, but it was approved. So challenge them a little bit, so you don't have so many different things that you have to get involved with.
But the other question I think you were asking as well was how are the labels actually being generated, how are they being output? And I think that's just from within the Accellos.
Yeah.
Those are just sending it out as in-stream files. They're handling everything.
Okay, that's great, Carl. Now, I know we're running up against time here. It's already 2:47 by my clock. So we'll give it maybe a minute more to see if any more questions come through. Just one last question here before we wrap up is beyond eliminating workflow redundancies, is there anything else that you might want to share, Carl or Tom, about other benefits? Maybe an unexpected benefit that you experienced with the integrated solution?
The granular visibility about where things are and where we are in every step of the processes. It helps us to identify potential savings in workflow efficiencies. So, yeah, between the automation, redundancy of effort, and the ability to now zero in and look at some of these things at a component level, that's one of the unexpected benefits.
Okay, that's wonderful. So based on the time, we've reached the end of this webinar. I'd like to extend a warm thanks to Tom, Carl, and Tim Baumgartner from Accellos for joining us today. I'd also like to thank all of you who have attended today's webinar, and I'm hopeful you found this event beneficial. Thank you very much for your attendance. Our webinar has come to a close today, and I'd like to wish everyone a wonderful day. Thank you so much.